statement today, Senator John McCain said Rhodes' email was ample evidence of the politicization of this tragedy, while Senator Lindsey Graham told Newsmax yesterday this email is a smoking gun. It shows political operatives in the White House working to create a political narrative at odds with the facts. A smoking gun that confirms pretty much what everyone has been saying all along. Joining me now is former national security spokesman for President Obama and co-founder of Fenway Strategies, Tommy Vitor, and senior writer for Politico magazine, Glenn Thrush. Tommy, let me start with you. You were CC'd on all of this back and forth.
Yep.
Was there anything political? Was it an overarching political strategy that was coming from the White House and from Ben Rhodes?
No, I mean, I can tell you what our mindset was at the time, which was enormous fear that these protests that were obviously the result of this video were spreading and becoming more violent and could lead to the death or injury of more of our people serving abroad. I mean, I think we all need to step back and remember that there were millions of people protesting across the planet. And there was no reason for us to believe that these individuals at Benghazi weren't also upset by the video. And if you read David Kirkpatrick's New York Times story, his stringer interviewed people there who, in fact, told them that they were upset by the video. So this wasn't about politics. This was about trying to calm things down and protect our people abroad.
There seems to be a lot of hue and cry over the fact that Ben Rhodes' email did away with some of the nuance that was part of both the CIA guidance and also something that was echoed at the State Department in a background briefing call with reporters before Ambassador Rice went on the Sunday talk shows. Why did, in your mind, when you were present during all this, why did the White House remove the nuance, if you will? Why did they say in a more sort of definitive manner that these were linked to, these protests were a result of a video posted on the internet?
I mean, we thought they were. I don't know how else to say it than that. And also remember, Ben's note says protests plural because there were literally dozens of countries. I remember sitting in a meeting in the Situation Room and someone said there is a protest in Australia as a result of the Innocence of Muslims video. I mean, that's how far-reaching this thing was. So, I guess maybe there is a theory that millions of people protested because of this video and Benghazi is the only place they didn't. I actually don't buy that at all.
Isn't there something to be said about just wearing the scarlet letter? Yes, as Glenn points out, this was a few weeks before a presidential election. If you look at Ben Rhodes' talking points, it's not all about trying to make the administration look good. Indeed, the very first talking point is about ensuring that Americans are safe and that the White House is doing everything in its power to ensure the safety of Americans abroad. But yes, there was a practical reality that this was happening 6 weeks before an election, and also any administration wants to convey control. Like David Weigel, like Weigel says, it's not as if administrations come out and say, our hair is on fire, we're totally freaked out. Nor would that have been good for the American public.
We're not like immune to calendars. We know when elections are. I think, more broadly speaking, there's a tendency in Washington to view everything through the prism of Washington, whether it's the Arab Spring or these protests, and we can shout until we're blue in the face that it's not the result of things Obama said. I think that's why you see that reflected in these talking points.
There probably is something for Republicans to complain about, for the American public perhaps to be distressed or dismayed about, but because this whole thing has been outsourced to the likes of Judicial Watch and has become a fringy kind of topic, Republicans have effectively ceded all legitimacy on this issue in particular.
Oh, I think that's, Alex, I think you're exactly right here. I mean, there's a very fine line between a cover-up and a cover your tuchus, right? And I think, the other large question when you look at all these documents that really pops up is there's a tremendous amount of daylight, clearly, and this is a wide open area of reporting on this, between the CIA, the State Department, and the White House. There's clearly a lot of dissonance, a lot of competing agendas, but I think you're absolutely right. Coming up with a fact set on this, a reasonable fact set, and drawing conclusions, and even going forward to streamline some of these processes and get some answers is just really difficult in this environment. I think the Republicans have done themselves a big disservice here.
Thank you, Glenn Thrush, for bringing the word tuchus into this conversation. Tommy Vitor, thank you for your time.